Hey Psychthought fans, we're back today with the end of the month of February where we've been talking about psychology and love. It's so great. Yes, and so a lot of times people always ask me in class and different things when we talk about psychology and we talk about love, they always go, hey Doug, how can I find somebody? Can psychology do that? Does psychology have the formula? Today on Psychthoughts, won't you come with me and I'll tell you what psychology really has to say about you finding somebody. Do you really need to find somebody? And how can I find somebody? Won't you come with me today? Let's go. First off, let me just go ahead and tell you the bad news. Psychology, sociology, biology, mathematics, chemistry, engineering, all of these do not have a formula, do not have anything set in stone that can tell you, do this and you will find true love. No. Now, I know I said maybe psychology can help you, but here's how. Psychology doesn't have all the answers to life, but it does play a major role as the road signs on the life of highway as you're cruising along. There's a lot of things in psychology that we've looked at, studied, and we'll go, you know, that just does not work, or you need to rethink about doing that. And so today I'm going to give you a couple of pointers when you're thinking about, I'm going to go out and I'm going to find somebody for Valentine's Day, or maybe I need to find somebody. There's a couple of things that you can keep in mind that we've seen from research and other areas of psychology. The first thing, and this is kind of the most simple, and you're probably like, huh? That doesn't make sense, but what do you know what you want? That's the first question you should ask yourself when you start to thinking, I need to get in a relationship. What do you want? Are you looking for a spouse? Are you looking for someone to spend time? Are you looking for a hookup? Tinder, yes. I mean, what are you looking for? In a research that was done by Reagan and a lot of his associates back in 2000, he found that, in fact, similar people tend to pair off with what people are looking for. So if you're looking for a short-term relationship, most likely you're going to pair off with someone that's looking for a short-term relationship also. Okay? If you're pairing off and looking for somebody for a long-term relationship, more likely you're going to find somebody that's kind of looking for that. Basically, a lot of the research suggests that pursuing a short-term relationship in ways to find a long-term relationship isn't really going to work, and it's not a good idea. So before you start setting out thinking about romantic and romance and what you want, kind of sit down and go, what do I really want? Do I want somebody to build my life with, or am I just looking for someone to hang out with? These are some questions we fail to ask. The other question is, one thing I always tell my students and everything when we talk about love in class is, what are you willing to invest? I hate to tell you this, and I hate to be the one to share this with you, but relationships, here comes that dirty word, take work. That's right. You have to invest a lot of time in a relationship, and you have to work at it. A lot of people go, when we fell in love, it was great. We didn't have to do anything. But then over a period of time, you have to work at it. You have to communicate. You have to talk to one another. So you have to really start thinking about how much of your life are you willing to put into a personal investment into this thing. And a lot of times people go, well, I really wasn't looking to invest in this much emotion or this much time, different things. You have to ask yourself these really good questions. And that kind of helps you decide whether or not you want to get off at that exit or not. And it will be a very good exit. So we kind of look at those things. If you really want to attract somebody, the best thing to do is show your humor. Yes! And research is from all the way back to 2000 and all the way, the latest one that I saw from Benson and Michaels in 2013 basically said that our type of humor attracts people. But what they went ahead to say is that, yes, humor usually puts people at ease, but sarcasm and jokes at the expense of others usually lower people's attraction to other things. So if you have just like normal humor, you're just a funny person, you have a better chance of finding a good partner. Now, sarcasm has its places and everything else because you have more of a chance of preparing or finding a short-term partners. However, trends usually distinguish between humor types, okay? Which means you just need to pay attention to what kind of humor they're using to figure out what kind of relationship it's going to be and what you're looking for in a long-term relationship. Another thing is you can hold yourself up to higher standards for a relationship. Just because you haven't found the person you're looking for, do not settle or go, well, maybe I'll just lower my standards down. Excuse me. You know, we all have to feel that we have to be in a relationship. We all have these things, but it can be empowering and a rewarding situation. But if you lower your standards down and you start kind of tell yourself, okay, this is not really what I wanted, but it's what I got, you know. No. If you have in mind what you're looking for, who you're looking for, continue that. Okay? Don't settle. That's like if somebody said, do you want $100? Well, yes. Well, would you settle for $1? No, you wouldn't. So you shouldn't anyway. And the last thing that psychology has pointed out over a period of time about relationships and loves is, and my grandmother used to say it all the time, birds of a feather flock together. There's a thing in psychology known as the matching hypothesis, which means that we are attracted to people that are kind of like us. A lot of times people will talk about, these people have been married for 20 years. Look at them. They look like each other. They dress alike. We are attracted to people who are basically like us. The same level of attraction, same level of education, same level of a lot of things. Now, a lot of times people go, no, Doug, that's not true. Opposites attract. Not really. Opposites attract more to short-term relationships, but in an overall relationship, we usually have a lot more in common. One of my favorite stories I share in class is I had two friends that she always told me that they were opposites. They'd been married for 15 years. They were complete opposites. She liked to eat. He liked to exercise. She liked to talk, and he was quiet. And I said, no. I said, you have more in common. And so I gave them a personality test, and I told them that they matched up on personality traits about 87%, which was pretty high. And I said, see, you match up here on how you think, your religious beliefs, kind-heartedness. And she looked at me, she said, well, those things don't count. And I was like, yeah, they do. We don't pick people, and we don't pick mates based on just one thing. You know, we don't go, I want somebody that's got long hair. Well, do you want somebody that's got teeth? Or no, just long hair, that's all I care about. No, there's a lot of other factors that go into it. And when we start thinking about it, we do share a lot more in common with people than we would normally think. Which brings me to the last point. Most people, when they look for love, they usually turn to the internet. Dun, dun, dun! And one of the biggest providers on the internet is all these dating sites such as eHarmony, Match.com. There's tons of them out there. Here's a little bit of secret. Most of them, when they tell you that they match you with your soulmate, eHarmony tells you that they'll match you on 16 levels. Basically, all they do is they give you a personality test. Yes. They pick out all your personality traits and everything else, and they match it with someone else who has the same traits. They know the saying, birds of a feather flock together. And so you meet this person that has a lot of traits that you have in common, and you're like, I like this person. They're just like me. This is a miracle. Yeah, that just takes all the fun out of it. So whether you're with someone or you're not, or you're looking, always keep these ideals in mind, and they really make your life a little bit more and enrich it. Okay? You don't necessarily have to be in a relationship. You don't have to necessarily want it, because they're a lot of work. And they can be the source of great joy, and they can be the source of great anguish. Yes. But take them all in strides and use use psychology to look at what you're looking for. Think about that. And are you ready? Emotionally? Physically? Maturely? Are you ready for a long-term relationship or not? These are things that we need to think about, and we see the research points out that they really do show us how we end up on the highway of life. So as you're driving down that way and you're thinking, I would like to have a long-term relationship, make sure you get off at the right exit, because if you don't, well, there's nothing like being lost and not having a map. Until next time, if you like these videos, make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time, bye.